Yo, what is up guys, it's me Eve again here playing Etheria Restart. In today's video we're gonna do kind of like an update video. I already did a video on Tiamat build, but I kind of wanted to update it because I have like more stuff to talk about, because there's some new builds that, again, in the beginning of the game there were much less of interesting builds that you can do, as well as we had less information what works, what doesn't work, as well as we needed to test it, how better she gets, how worse she gets, all of that stuff. So now we know everything about that. So in today's video we're going to talk about her skills, her kit, her modules, her shells, all of that. What are the priorities for you to level up? But let's get right into her kit. She has the Taunt AoE here, she's got the shields that she can give, and she's got the single damage. So all of her damage is not based on her attack, but it's all based on her HP. So you want to max out her HP as much as possible, because that's the more HP, the more shields she gets, the more damage she's going to be doing. That's the most important stuff in her kit. In case of her shields, she also applies some heal over time, so you can heal with her second ability. Her single damage is what makes her transform, basically. She applies the bloodshed here, as you can see here. That thing is basically stacks. Whenever you reach the max stack, you will transform into her ultimate form when you're going to be doing purely AoE damage. But she's gonna be much faster, she's gonna be much stronger, and all of that stuff in there. She doesn't have any taunts or anything like that, she's just gonna be doing some AoE damage, so she's really good in that sense. So in terms of priorities for her skills, one of the best skills that she has is her third, so you want to max it out. Again, taunt doesn't matter here for the most part, but other stuff that she has, like the damage capacity, increase the recovery percentage of ultimate form, the additional damage added based on current HP. So that's all of the very important stuff. Another important skill is going to be skill 1. Here she gets a lot of damage again, damage sharing, as well as the ultimate for additional recovery for 10% HP. So when she recovers because she's going to be healing once she's in the ultimate form, so because of that this is an additional recovery, 10%. That's pretty good. The only thing that I would say, don't go for the level 5, because level 5 makes her get the transformation too fast, and you don't want that with her, because she needs to on auto, again, if you're going to be playing, she always use her third skill first. So her taunt is pretty shit. To be honest, in most cases, you don't want this to go first. That's the problem. You want her to most of the time use the shields first, but for some reason they made AI use her taunt first and then the shields. So because of that, you don't want this, because she's gonna transform too fast, and you might not get like some of her procs going there into like some of her damage, as well as some of her support aspects going while you're gonna be using her. So because of that, I don't recommend going for it. But again, if you already did it, she's still good in PvP. For example, with this, you're going to transform faster. That means you're going to be you're going to be able to heal again much faster with this. Because she's losing a lot of HP. Like I think it's like 30% just by using the third skill right there. Yeah, consumes 30% of her current HP to deal 2 hits. That's a pretty big amount of HP for just one attack, and because of that, transforming faster is also like good in PvP. That way she can start healing again, and that's not the worst thing. In terms of modules, there's 2 different builds that you can go. You can go a full DPS build, and as well as a full like speed type of like you're not going to be going for too much damage, but you're going to be going for that speed, as well as trying to go as much hits as possible. So in that sense, Swift Rush and Bramble is going to be that set where you're trying to make her fast enough. She's gonna be doing some decent like counter attacks with Brumble, because again on the 8 piece this is very important to have not a 4 piece but an 8 piece when you're getting the 25% to chance to counter attack with the basic attack, and when she transforms that basically means you're getting a 25% for her AoE damage dealing capacity, and sometimes that definitely comes in clutch for sure, as well as that's a free healing for you, because again after she attacks she gets a healing. So that's very, very good. The other thing that you want to think about is Wellspring, another build. Also Wellspring plus Swift Rush also works pretty fine. Wellspring plus Brumble if you're going for that also kind of a survivability plus the damage dealing capacity to the max, also pretty good. You can try those, but I think the Swift Rush for the most part plus Brumble works best for me. I tried to go for full Wellspring plus Brumble, but she was too slow. So when in, for example, Health 4, I couldn't get the max, the most of her. Like again, she did do much more damage, obviously. But that damage was neglected because she was much more slower, and because of that I still think Swift Rush, at least for me, it worked much better. Again, another build that you can do is the full DPS build. It's gonna be a Kenai. So Kenai actually works pretty good on her because she also kind of likes having a crit damage and crit rate on her. So because of that, you can try to go a full DPS with the crits buffed on her, but do be sure to remember that you need to have on the right side always the HP. So HP bonus, HP, doesn't matter, something that buffs her HP, you want to have those. And Kenai, then like you need to have the Kenais with HP here, and you're putting that on the right side of her. But you want to have the Kenais with additional like stats that buff the crit rate and crit damage on here, so you have like a decent stats of crit rate here. So around, I would say around 70 to 80 at least would be okay-ish, and then a crit damage buff in around at least 100. That would be also pretty fine, and you can do that on her, and having like HP around like at least plus 20k, maybe a little, maybe more, like around 30k would be much nicer. But again, it depends on how far into the game you are. On that, again, I would say Kenai is a little bit harder to build because you need to have a good shells that have the Kenai on it as well. As well as you need to have a specific shell that you will be using here. I'm going to talk about that in the shells. So Kenai is another option for you. So you go for whatever works better for you. I think, like for me, Swift Rush plus Bumble worked a little bit better. In the later game, whenever I will be able to get shells with 3 matrices, I'm putting the Wellspring here just so this, for the sake I can get another 10% from the Wellspring 4 piece, or maybe if I will be able to get more, like put more stuff into this and get a more better like pieces as well. Maybe even 8 there would be something nice, but I don't think that's possible too much. But this is the build for her that I did, and it worked for me. I'm clearing on auto the Hell 4, and this is how I use her in there. Unfortunately, Inferno, I'm not fast enough yet. In terms of like my characters, my max out is 250 on Lily, and that's not enough yet. So I guess we'll try whenever I'm gonna be like around 250 on every of my characters, then maybe that's how I'm gonna be able to clear the Inferno as well. In terms of shells, she's got some pretty good options. Black Flag is obviously also a good option. It definitely gets replaced in the end game, but for the time being, I'm using Black Flag just for the sake of like having some decent stats on there, and just because it's leveled up for me right now. Artisan is another option. Again, shields always save you if you are getting beaten. Gigabyte is not the best. Wouldn't recommend putting the Gigabyte on her. Again, if you can definitely put it, but again, she doesn't need to have. If you're going for a Swift Rush, you don't need to have a Gigabyte on her either. In terms of other options, like a more DPS type of options, then the Jackal Guard is going to be another option for you. Again, he buffs, he deals some decent damage. He has some speed up as well for the meter. Also, another good option is going to be this. So the on the Shadow Hoyan, you can get this Ember. Ember is, as you can see here, recovery 50% of your max of their max HP. So this is a very, very good one for Tiamat, because she uses a shit ton of her HP when she attacks, like 30% just here by doing that attack, another 25% in here, and just doing some damage in here, like already consumes a lot of her HP. So because of that, you usually want to have a healer with her in the team. But with that one, you can kind of, you know, don't have a full build on the healer and still be okay, because that shell is going to be healing her for sure. But her definitely best shells is going to be Ember plus the or the Jackal, if you want to go that route. They work perfectly on her for sure. Again, with the Kenai, some people use the more like specific to damage dealing capacities. Again, they also still use like Jackal, but then they're not putting, like, as you can see here, there's no Kenai here, and because of that, you need to have a Kenai just from the gear itself without having to rely on the on your shells for sure. Like, people go for different types of, like, even Rebellion. I saw some people using Rebellion on her as well. So there's a lot of different shells that you try, but again, best ones probably is going to be Jackal and Ember for the most part. Again, the best synergies in terms of teams for her is going to be obviously Linglo. Linglo, she just heals so much, and because of that, she's so good for her. Also, another like support, the Sanya, also works pretty good. You don't need to have like much of a building on those two just to make Tiamat work. Again, don't forget that if you want to build, then you probably want to like go full on the Linglo here on her first skill, just for the sake of having more healing here effects, as well as you want to have some shelves that allow you to heal as well. Where is it? Let me show you the one that I was using on Sanya, the Squid, I think. So the Squid, yeah, the Squid is okay-ish, like it's not the craziest one. There's much better ones in the end game, but for the time being, Squid could work. So you can put it on Linglo or Sanya and put it with the Tiamat. They're gonna be healing her for a pretty good amount of HP, and she's gonna be surviving much longer. In that sense, other than that, hopefully you have a great day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave your comments, as well as stream every day, so hopefully you will tune in for the streams. You can also join the Discord. We talk about Etheria restart, as well as I post all the like codes that the game gets in there as well. Also, I always post the notifications for the streams and for the videos in there, so you don't miss anything. So you might want to join in just to not miss all the new content in terms of the Etheria restart and other games as well. Hopefully, other than that, hopefully you have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.